Puck dropped, and we're underway from St. Louis. John Klingberg, Alex Goligoski, the defensive pair for Dallas. It's Tyler Seguin with Jamie Benn, and we'll try Colton Sceviour on the right wing to start the game. That's Benn after the puck. Out to the line for Klingberg. Takes a look. Shot it. Tipped by Sceviour wide of the net. Jake Allen, the Blues goaltender. Had a little traffic to deal with. Goligoski pumps it in wide. Stars off to an active start in the St. Louis zone. It's Seguin. Tried to center it for Sceviour, and now Pietrangelo partnered with Bouwmeester after the puck. Those two. He's getting the early look against the Seguin line. TJ Oshie out to center ice with Backes. But the Blues are in the middle of a change, and Steen. That's how St. Louis started things. And now going back to pick it up is Chris Butler. Both teams making early changes. Cody Eakin with Ryan Garbutt and Antoine Roussel. That line staying together again. Blues are into the zone. Porter heads to the front of the net. Lehtera has it behind the line. Passing off to Shattenkirk. It explodes off his stick, and that's Tarasenko. Passing Jokipaka. Tripped up. Stays in the zone. And no call against the Blues. Porter jammed up. Jokipaka and Daly, the Dallas defensive pair. Eakin with his stick hacked out of his hand, and it's in two pieces now. Goes to the line for Shattenkirk. Takes a look, pulls it away, and passes off. Sent down low by Butler. Centered. Here's Shattenkirk from the wing. Going back on top, and the Stars Eakin with a new stick able to break it up, but St. Louis controls outside the line. Tarasenko handing it back. On the wing for Shattenkirk, took a grazing blow from Horcoff and fired the puck out of play.
Well, the Stars with the first look of the game offensively, and Klingberg had a lot of room at the right point. Good work by Jamie Benn down. Look at the time that Klingberg had to just take that sizzling wrister. Good traffic in front. Sceviour right there went off the tip of the glove of Jake Allen. Jokipaka did yeoman work in cleaning the front of the net. He shoved his countryman Lehtera all the way over to the corner with one of those. They got to own that space if they're going to be a good defending team.
Lindholm shot it in. Stars have Jordie Benn and Jason Demers back of the net. The defensive pair. Travis Morin, M-O-R-I-N, by the way, is out. Travis Moen, M-O-E-N, has the puck. He scores! Turnover by Allen, and the Stars cash in as Moen, M-O-E-N, gives Dallas a 1-0 lead.
Well, good on Travis Moen. This is a gift, though. Puck gets chipped down. The Stars would like to play fast. He just goes out to play it behind the net. The puck might have been spinning on its way in and explodes off of his stick. Look at that. Not only does it go out, I don't think I've ever seen it where a goaltender's playing it on his backhand and it ends up going ahead of the icing line from that position. It's almost like he guided it out there. And Moen, who has been injured, and then a coach's decision, gets back in here tonight and immediately pays off.
That's his first goal of the season, his 22nd game played. He was acquired earlier in the year in the deal that sent Sergei Gonchar to Montreal. And the Stars lead at 1-0, an unassisted goal early in the game at the 2:08 mark. Blues have the puck. Bouwmeester sent it ahead. Blues are not offside at the line. Dmitry Yashkin. Shot from the angle by Stastny, followed up, score! Pietrangelo. And that didn't take long, it's 1-1.
I could see or sniff out on the first shift of the game the St. Louis Blues trying to hit the weak side defenseman. 27 seconds after Moen opens the scoring. There's Pietrangelo, the weak side defenseman, comes down the back door. I think because of the way the Stars pack it in and bring their forwards so deep to help out defensively, the Blues looking like they're trying to expose it from that side. This is just a funnel toward the net. It gets off Kari Lehtonen and goes through him on that shot from Pietrangelo, who's had a bit of a rough season by his standards.
It's his fourth goal of the season, and an icing call on the resumption of play here as the Blues shot it in off the Steve Ott faceoff win. Well, what to make of this start?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's unearned at one end, and then at the other end, it just erases the unearned just like that. Lindy Ruff, you know, he continues to appeal to individuals and to the group as a whole to have them commit deeper to defending, and there was an opportunity on that chance. I mean, that's a winger's responsibility. It's the left winger's responsibility to have the right defenseman, and Pietrangelo was uncovered
Speaking of goal scoring, one Mr. Brett Hull has just entered the building. Hey, Hully, here comes Hemsky into the zone.
That might get in a bear hug from Hull in the middle of action.
I'm wondering, who is hugging me from behind? Spezza tried to crank it in front. And the Blues, Steve Ott, wearing number 9 here, threw it out to center ice. The goal, Pietrangelo from Stastny and Yashkin, 27 seconds after Moen all alone. Tyler Seguin is the league's leading goal scorer. He's got 25. The pack is closing a bit behind him, and Dallas is offside here.
Well, Ken Hitchcock recently turned 63. He shares a birthday with Pope Francis. You can insert your joke in here. He seemed worried about his team's overall play, though. 14 goals against on that 3-game road trip. They're being saved by individual performances. I think both coaches are kind of feeling that way.
Kari Lettinen waited for the puck to come to him. He sprayed it to the boards. Backes in check, and Seguin goes up ahead to Sevier. Away from Oshie to Seguin. Blues meet him at the line. He'll toss it in and go after it and Pietrangelo in the corner. Pietrangelo sends it along to Steen. It hits Oshie in the skate. Oshie hinging it back to Bouwmeester and up off Backes and in. Lettinen lays down the paddle of the stick. Daly trying to fight off Backes, who slams him. Oshie centering it. And a wild shot. Shattenkirk missed the net from a bad angle. He's back on the puck. There's Porter, shooting it wide of the net. Bouwmeester from the far side, back of the goal for Tarasenko, looking out front of the net to Backes, and then centered it to Porter, and ricochets wide of the net. Star Sevier clears. Pietrangelo hunting it down quick up to Backes, nudged forward in the direction of Porter and Tarasenko. Garbutt tripped up at his own line, and Jordy Ben will leave it. Here comes Cody Eakin. Points have not been flowing exactly for number 20 lately for the Stars. Roussel goes after the puck in the corner, and Lehtera wants it to be Lehtera. Passes it ahead. Shot from the wing. Lettinen makes the catch.
Well, the Stars, both these teams score in the first 3 minutes of the game coming off being shut out. The Stars have given up some opportunities early in games in recent play. It's disturbing to Lindy Ruff and the coaching staff. You know, Kari saved their bacon in the first 2 games of that road trip. In Edmonton, they scored on the power play just a few minutes into the game. First shift of the game against Toronto, they scored. And here tonight, the first shift after the Stars had opened the scoring, they score. The Blues do. So it's tough to get out of the first few minutes without damage.
Oh, here's a sneaky shot that hit Lettinen and then went off the top of the crossbar and wide. It came from Jackman, who has 1 goal, and it's usually about all he gets. Hemsky on the pass from Klingberg, shot it out. Berglund.
Yeah, minor penalty on Spezza, I think.
Tried to take it away, and this draws a crowd back behind the St. Louis net near the corner.
Feels very divisional. They've answered my question already as to how cautious the game would be. Certainly the start after 3 days off, they've gone after one another. Here's that shot, just a quick wrister. Lettinen picks it up and it trampolines off the top of the net and just over the crossbar and off the top of the net. Wow. That was close. Got his deltoid or something on that one. There's the hook. You know, they pinched with their defenseman. The forward Berglund was peeling out of there, and as Spezza tried to gain position on him, he has loaded up the number 3 power play in the NHL.
They've been red hot in December. 0 for 3 in their last 2 games. Forget about that. 10 for 22 in their previous 6. They're 3rd overall. And this one gets past Steen and out to center ice. Backes leads St. Louis with 6 power play goals. 3 others, including Tarasenko, have 4 each. Dallas penalty kill on the road lately, really good. 8 of 9 on that 3-game trip. They won all 3 games. Tarasenko changing gears, slowing down at the Dallas line, goes rink wide to Backes. Daly takes the man. Lettinen put the puck into the corner for Steen. Spread it out. Tarasenko was challenged by Fiddler. Puck comes around the board. Shattenkirk gave it up, and Goligoski clears.
Well, the big key to the Blues power play is they shoot immediately usually, and then they retrieve like they're short-haired pointers or something. It's just shoot and retrieve, shoot and retrieve, shoot and retrieve. They've yet to really get set up where they can shoot on this one. The Stars have hurried them all over the place.
Pietrangelo failing to keep it in at the line. Steen moves it ahead. Yashkin takes it over and has a step on Demers, pumped it around the boards. Stastny let it go out to Pietrangelo, gets the return pass along the boards, but good defending there by Garbutt and Jordie Benn to take it away and clear it.
They've done what you probably should do, and that's just attack them. You know, don't sit back and give the outside and let them pick you apart.
Oshie on the move and a save from Kari Lehtinen.
TJ Oshie's a guy who hasn't really been getting it done for them, especially offensively. He went pointless on that recent 3-game trip. I think, you know, they lose a guy like Schwartz. They have Oshie not score on the trip. They give up lots defensively. He needs to be a guy for them. Really, they're big boys. Steen, Backes, and Oshie, that top line, is what the Blues are looking for a little more out of, a little more consistency and more offense.
We'll do this one again. 37 seconds remaining in Spezza's 5th minor of the season.
Stars penalty count. They've been shorthanded, I'd say, a couple of times too much lately. They look, you know, 4's a lot in today's NHL.
Yep.
That used to be pretty good. Hold them to 3 or 4 power plays in a game.
Not anymore. Puck battle. Tarasenko found it. Shattenkirk was on the wrong side to pick it up, but he makes the play anyway and gets it back out to Tarasenko, who's at the line. Giving it to Shattenkirk. Lehtera centered it. And it goes out to Tarasenko at the line. 15 left on the man advantage. Steen popped it. Blocked by Roussel. Trevor Daley to clear, and good early penalty killing by the Stars.
You couldn't have better penalty killing. The only shot they gave up was one into the belly button to Kari Lehtinen from distance. That was a great pickoff by Fiddler right in front of his own net on a cross-crease pass.
Berglund got it in, goes after it back of the net. Spezza's on and in the Dallas zone. Klingberg popped, but he got the puck ahead, and he's back up on his skates, and here comes Benn one-on-one against Pietrangelo. Benn shot it over a ducking Jake Allen. Stars looking for the puck, but Oshie finds it, heads toward the Dallas line. Picks up Berglund and Porter there, but St. Louis is offside. 12:25 left in the first period. Some early activity. Stars get on the board first. Whoops. Travis Moen pops his first of the season, and Pietrangelo follows up. And the Blues tie it less than half a minute later.
Vern Fiddler hasn't scored in almost 2 months, but his value is in preventing the opposition from scoring, especially when penalty killing. Makes a terrific read and play on a cross-crease pass to Steen. If he doesn't get down, I mean, Steen's walking into this, wading into this. Left shot, gets a great look. No way Kari Lehtinen gets across there. I think Fiddler saved a goal.
Face-off outside the Dallas line after the St. Louis offside and the timeout. Pietrangelo drives it around the boards. Demers knocks it back of the net for Jordie Benn. Stars top line is out here head-to-head against Backes and company, and Pietrangelo and Bouwmeester on the back end. Sevier prowling against Backes, who's forced to move it around. Bouwmeester's pass ahead goes off Oshie, chipped toward the Dallas net. Jordie Benn arrives first. Chased around his net and reverses it for Jason Demers. Backes coming in a hurry. Gave it to Oshie. Threw it out to the line. Bouwmeester's shot doesn't get through. It's blocked by Sevier, and out comes Benn to center ice. Hands it to Sevier, who bounces it in. Allen makes the stop as both teams finish their changing. There goes Eric Cole, rumbling after the puck deep in the zone. Spezza cranked it wide. Goligoski from the left point. Flipping it deep to Spezza in the far corner. It's Spezza, Cole, and Ales Hemsky. Hemsky tied up, pivoting toward the net to Cole, back of the net. Wants to go back in front to Hemsky, but Allen kicked it out of there with the pad. And there goes Big Reeves after Goligoski, able to fend him off. Klingberg, good pass ahead to Cole. Into the St. Louis zone, shot it. Goes over to Hemsky, to Klingberg, just off his stick. He was in a great spot, too. Porter goes after it. Jokipaka chasing him. LaPierre from the wing shot it off the side of the Dallas net. Tarasenko lurking in front. Jokipaka using the glass to try and get it out, and then stick knocked right out of his hand on a good body check. Tarasenko sent it deep. He wants it back. He's got it back. Threw it in front. It ricochets in off. Lehtera Lehtinen made the stop, and here comes Fiddler ahead. 4 Blues back. Fiddler trying to get past Jackman. Goes in hard behind the end line. Jackman comes away with the puck. Laterra. Stutter stepping at center to shoot it in, and St. Louis will change. Trevor Daley, stick betrayal, turned it over to Yashkin, moving into the zone, a shot, missed the net.
He wanted to pass all the way in. You could see him look around. That option wasn't there, so he wired one from a sharp angle. What a break for Daley. 2 breaks for defenseman. At the other end, Klingberg was wide open in the slot. I don't know whether that puck bounced or he just miscued on it.
Berglund got the shot away and a save from Lettinen. Daley now with a fresh stick, scrapping in the corner for the puck. Shattenkirk shouldering Travis Moen. In deep for Stastny, who did not play in the first meeting of the season between these teams. Won it back in the net, and Yashkin was tripped up. Out comes Eakin with it to center ice. He's harassed. Turned it over. Shattenkirk passes forward, gets it back from Stastny. Floats it on net. Lettinen kicked it aside.
Well, that's a hard, gritty one-on-one play. Close quarters hockey.
Stars are deemed offside, but I don't know about this. It was close play at the line. 9:21 remaining in the first period. Stars and the Blues are tied at 1 at Scott Trade Center in St. Louis.
1-1 midway through the opening period here at Scott Trade in St. Louis. John Klingberg's had a couple of good looks on his opening shift, and on this last one, Ales Hemsky finds him. I'm not sure whether this puck just bounces past his stick or if he miscues on it. They had a conversation on the bench, but he was solo amigo in the slot. And then it was fin-on-fin crime in the star zone. Yoki Paka's skate. It goes off of him and off the right pad of Kari Lettinen.
Shot 6-4 St. Louis in a 1-1 game. Alex Goligoski tumbling the puck in deep. Bouwmeester lost it, battles to get it back with Colton Sevier. Ben and Backus, respective captains, are in there too. It's Alex Steen finding some open ice to the left of his own net. Cross the ice for Pietrangelo. Oshie stayed on side at the Dallas line. Backus moving it in deep towards Steen. Steen has the puck, twisting out of the corner with it to Pietrangelo. Takes a look, shoots it deep. Steen back of the net. Klingberg over there, trying to keep him wrapped up. Backus carries on toward Oshie. That's chipped by Goligoski out of the zone, back into Oshie. It's offside right there at the line. Join us for the Dallas Stars Park Place Lexus and Jaguar Casino Night on February 25th. Play table games with Stars players and bid on great autographed items. Fun team experiences too. Proceeds benefit the Dallas Stars Foundation. For tickets, visit dallasstars.com/casino night.
That fugacious 1-0 lead here in the opening period should be no surprise to no one. Remember the game in Dallas? They had 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 leads, all of them extinguished.
They turn it over here. Lettera to Tarasenko. Jordy Ben immediately came over, and Hemsky pushes it ahead to center ice. Spets it down the wing. Hemsky has a step on Tarasenko. Flips it back of the net, and Tarasenko with a pass that gets through to Porter. He'll go across the ice to Jackman. Puck died along the boards. Jori Lehtera shoots it in. St. Louis changing, so are the Stars. Jokipaka forgot the puck at center ice. Ricocheted off Ott. Reeves trying to take the Dallas line. Lapierre's in there too. Stars steady, and here's Garbett tipping it across. Going back of the net. Butler providing some coverage. Jokipaka, Roussel, now Eakin on his backhand, twisting it back out to Jokipaka. They're stacked up in front, and his shot is tipped by Reeves, who came out to challenge, and it's out of play.
The young Stars defensemen have had some puck troubles here in the opening frame. Jyrki Jokipaka, he has the skills and the mobility to be a really good defenseman at this level, but there are times when he looks really raw. Young guys like to over-pursue. You know, the old defensemen understand. Craig Ludwig used to always say, you understand where they want to go, don't you? They're going there. You don't have to chase them all the way over there. They're going to want to go there. He got caught chasing quite a bit in that Toronto game at home that the Stars lost 4-0.
And now it's John Klingberg, the young Swede, pursued by Berglund. Twisted it around behind the net. Blues come up with the puck in the Dallas zone. Stastny passing it off. Collision along the near boards. Berglund trying to open up. Blues like it heavy along the wall. And off the wall, Berglund comes away with the puck toward Jackman. It's pitched away from him and into the Dallas bench, so the faceoff stays in Letton's zone.
Such a different game when you're playing against the Blues and some of these teams within the division. You know, the Winnipeg Jet game at home, same thing. It's so much more physical than most of the games that the Stars play, that we watch, that you watch at home. A lot of it is skating, and guys turn away from checks. When you're up against the Blues, a lot of guys in St. Louis Blues uniforms are going to take an extra stride to finish.
Stars were good against St. Louis last season. 3-1-1 in the 5 games. Bouwmeester shoots this wide. They won 2 of 3 games here. Jamie Benn pumped it out to center. Oshie spits it right back across. Steen in pursuit, and Jordie Benn able to evade him with a pass to Seguin. Benn going after it, and Pietrangelo, and on the hybrid icing, the call is against Dallas.
Swinging all the way back down into Dallas's end of things. The Stars can't change, the Blues can, and they are going to. Tarasenko and company coming out for this one. Couldn't believe it. We talked about Tarasenko off the hop tonight. He does have 2 hat tricks on the season, the one against the Stars. They have 4 as a team. For a team that's known for their defense, they've registered 4 hat tricks.
Something else. Shot coming in from Tarasenko, wide of the net. Pietrangelo has it stolen, and here comes Benn. Cross the ice to Sevier to Seguin. He has a step. Seguin shoots it. Save Allen. Tyler Seguin's 132nd shot of the season. Leads all Stars at second to Alex Ovechkin overall. Jokipaka going in after the puck. That's hacked out of play by Porter, pardon me.
Another example of Pietrangelo, who's one of the most talented young defensemen in the league. He's aggressive on his pinch. They get through him, and away it comes. There's him all the way down the boards. Benn beats him to that puck, work it out. They get an odd man rush in. It's played well defensively. That long reach of Pietrangelo's partner, and Seguin tests Jake Allen from a pretty sharp angle. He's going to test most of them.
Shattenkirk from center, firing it in. Lettonen makes the stop, releases it for Trevor Daley. Eric Cole shoved by Shattenkirk. Puck stays in the zone. Stastny backing him up from the line. Slipped it through to Berglund. Jokipaka chasing him out to the line, and Spezza comes away. Good pass to Cole, but he can't control it at the St. Louis line. And he goes bouncing off Shattenkirk. Hemsky has it back of the net. Hemsky on his forehand. Pivots and sends it across to Goligoski. Tried a slap pass across the grain. Winds up on Hemsky's stick. Left it for Spezza. Spezza to Cole. A shot. That went whistling wide. I don't know if Allen saw it. He picked it up late. And Butler takes refuge back of his net. Blues are 21-10-3 this season. 45 points. They're third in the Central. They turned it over, and Garbutt scores. He pounds it into the corner of the net, and it's 2-1 Dallas.
Well, their young defenseman, who they think the world of, Lindbaum, just set up that bomb off the stick of Ryan Garbutt. Talk about a couple of unearned goals for the Stars. Look at this gift. Boom. Right onto the stick and beyond the ladies' tees. This is like the one you duff off the tee, and then you have to hit it again with your 3-wood. And you could hear it go in off the pipe.
Ryan Garbutt's 6th goal of the season, the 5th in the last 12 games he's played. However, 2 suspensions and an injury in that stretch as well. So that's 2 unassisted goals off turnovers for the Stars in the first period. Pietrangelo trying to get it back quickly. He scored earlier to tie the game at 1. Steve Ott threw it in front, and LaPierre tipped it wide. Klingberg takes the hit, sends it back to his partner Goligoski. Off Klingberg ahead, and Garbutt shot it up. Pietrangelo moved it swiftly forward. Reeves relaying it in. Lettonen kicked it up the wall. Pass into the middle of the ice, and here comes Garbutt again. He'll leave it for Fiddler, shooting it. It's deflected wide off Shattenkirk. Jackman being harassed. Drifts to center ice, and here's Jordie Benn. For Jason Demers. Up ahead off Vern Fiddler and in, and Horkoff goes barreling in there after Jackman. Moen chasing Shattenkirk along the boards. Fiddler finishes him off with a hit, and the puck launched into the Dallas zone. Backus overskates it at the line. Moen trying to outbattle Oshie. It stays in. Backus heads to the front of the net. And I guess here's a penalty.
If you could have a double minor for slashing the stick, that might be it.
So the Blues will go back on the power play, but Ryan Garbutt has given the Stars a 2-1 lead late in the first in St. Louis.
Fiddler is in the box. Hard to even say accused of. It was pretty evident he had hacked the stick in half on Steen. Boom. Because he was about to unleash it. So potential double whammy to the Stars. They're down a man, and the man they're down is a very important penalty killer for them in Vern Fiddler.
He takes only his 4th minor in 34 games this season. Also has a major in there. Blues on the power play for the 2nd time in the game. They're 3rd overall and 10th at home. Looking along around 25% for the season.
See if they come out shooting on this one a little quicker than on that first. They only got the one shot.
Steen settles it down. Shattenkirk back to Steen. Shot it wide of the net. Rebound. Score. Tarasenko.
They did. They came out shooting.
Yeah.
This is very reminiscent of how they scored their first goal of the game. It was at even strength, but it comes off the confusion of the original shot. They peel off immediately when it gets over to Steen. Bang, it's gone toward the net, and the rebound goes at a severe angle and to a perfect spot. Kari Lettinen's out dealing with the original. He had semi-rigor mortis set in, a little trouble getting across. In Nopa, that's as awkward as he ever looks. And trying to get across, and their talented young sniper levels this game again.
Tarasenko's team-leading 21st, team-leading 38 points. Ben's in there trying to strip Pietrangelo. Backus's pass hits Sevier. The Blues have tied it on the power play. It's 2-2. Steen and Shattenkirk should get the assist unless it glanced off Backus on its way over to Tarasenko. Ben slithers down the boards. Bouwmeester right up the middle. Jokipaka keeping it in. He shoots it, and a save, Allen.
Boy, their defense have had some issues with pucks coming out of their own zone where, again, it looks like they're forcing stuff into the middle of the ice rather than, taking the mindless stuff off the glass or off the boards and out. Hurried a little bit, too. Give some of the credit to the Stars for hurrying them. And this one dies into the belly pad of Jake Allen.
Hemsky off the face-off win right into the chest.
These are two good face-off teams. The Stars have a bunch of guys led by the man that just won that draw, Jason Spezza. And yet, a lot of times after they win face-offs, they gift it back to the other club. The Blues are excellent at gaining control off draws themselves, and they get the advantage of being on home ice.
Spezza and LaPierre this time. LaPierre wins it. Hit from Eric Cole. Disrupts things. Now he goes back of the net, trying to twist away from Butler. He does on the backhand. Shot it at Hemsky, who's on the lap of the goaltender. And it comes out to center ice from Reeves. Daly couldn't get there. Backhander save Lettinen. Rebound still loose, and Kari makes a goal line stand.
Well, you can't give up a more golden opportunity than that one. Their 4th line out there to secure that puck in their own zone. There's Ott. Stick up at the ready in the middle of all that, but off the scramble around their net in their own zone. Steve Ott had just scored his first goal of the season a couple of games ago. Wafts in on his backhand. Daly and Jokipaka, the pair on defense, ended up on the same side of the ice. Nobody back to deal with Ott on a quick cutter play to the net. It's a pat on the back on his way back to the bench. He's been more about contact than he has been scoring in his role with the Blues this season.
And faceoffs too. He's at 55% in the circle, going back to earlier point about two good faceoff teams here tonight, and Ott perennially good at that. Cody Eakin tried to move it. Berglund intercepts. Shattenkirk down low again. Yashkin back of the net. Stastny set up in front of it, and Klingberg grappling with him along the boards. Eakin there to take the puck away. And finds it again at center ice. Roussel taps it on to Goligoski. Cuts away from Shattenkirk. Shot it back in the net. Roussel tried to cram it, and now Eakin unable to get his stick on the puck. Now he does, but right into Allen's glove.
There's another example where the Stars have been pestering them. There's been a high degree of tenacity in their game, especially in the attacking zone. And Stastny, as he tries to make a play standing still, turns it over. Good aggressive work by Goligoski originally. They end up winning this puck back. He's got full control, but instead of being able to just rip it off the glass and get it out, turn it over, and his goalie has to stop it up for them. Both teams have been very aggressive with their defensemen, pinching down the walls and keeping pucks in, being very aggressive with that.
Fiddler swatting Lehtera's stick out as if to say, get out of here. He'll try Tarasenko now. Fiddler wins it cleanly to Jordy Benn straight away. Passing off to Demers. Deep to Fiddler. Back of the net. Was Horcoff. He comes toward the puck in the corner. Out to Jordy Benn, who shanked it. And then Horcoff tried to hack it away from Lehtera, who moved it out, and Porter down the boards. Has a beat on Jordy Benn, and he hammers him deep.
He's hit 3 of the 6 defensemen for the Stars really, really hard.
Moen makes the play to get it deep, and Fiddler and Pietrangelo back of the net. Travis Moen trying to center. Moen had the game's first goal. Now Fiddler to Horcoff in front. The puck was in the air. Jokipaka shooting it. That ricochets to the boards. Porter able to clear it, and Jokipaka won't let Tarasenko build up some speed at center. 75 seconds left in the first period. Shots are 11-9 St. Louis in a 2-2 game here in St. Louis. Cranked out to center. It slips into the Dallas zone. Oshie trying to get there. Jokipaka beat him with his reach.
1 minute to play in the first period.
Sagan moved it on to Sevier. And he'll work it up and out.
It's about the umpteenth time that Tyler Sagan has been back loaded up above the puck in his own zone to help out too.
Goligoski shot it in off Sevier. Shattenkirk away from Ben. Jackman up ahead. Goligoski taking over at the Dallas line. And Sevier tucks it down the boards for the change with half a minute remaining in the period. Shattenkirk up ahead. Oshie relaying it deep, and Lehtinen coming out to play the puck. He got it past Ott, but not over the line. Hemsky will do that. Up here, send it back over. 15 left in the period. Breakaway pass for Hemsky to Spezza. Across the ice to Cole, and it hit him up high.
I think Oshie broke that one up. Oshie looks exhausted as he just fell into his own zone to break it up.
Flipped it across the Dallas line, sending us to break 2-2. And crazy first period.
Yeah, well, what the Stars got was unearned, but in some ways they earned it with how they went about their business aggressively, and the Blues just kept counterpunching. It's the way the game in Dallas went back in October.
So the Stars, after the break, had leads of 1-0 and 2-1, but the Blues respond twice. 2-2 after 20 minutes. Scott Trade Center in St. Louis for the Stars and the Blues. Back at it. Dallas Stars hockey on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Hurry into the year-end event going on now at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. By TxDOT. As you celebrate the holidays, remember to plan a sober ride home. Visit SoberRides.org. And by Mazda. The Mazda 6 is named a Car and Driver 10 Best for 2014. What do you drive? Getting ready to start the second period in the Gateway City. The Stars and the Blues are tied at 2. And after that first period, we know P is Porter Razor. He was running around pretty good.
I like guys to understand their role as getting an opportunity to play with Lehtera and Tarasenko. And, you know, he's not a humongous individual, but every chance he had to take the body, he did in the opening frame. He led all players with 4 hits. 3 of them were impactful. Went after a couple of the Stars' young defensemen. He rung up Jordy Benn with another thumper as the period moved along. You kind of know what type of game you're going to be in when you play against the Blues, especially in their building, and he's led the way.
Straight up Backus against Tyler Sagan and company. Steen corkscrewed it deep. Alex Goligoski partnered with young John Klingberg right to the front of his net. Seguin sure-handedly up and out past Sevier. Bouwmeester came in, no icing, and Sevier tried to glove it down. It's cleared, and this is icing against the St. Louis Blues.
It's an odd first period. The way the goals unfolded, I don't think either coach is overly tickled with, they both came in saying we got to firm things up defensively. That's our focus. They're both on pace to give up 6 in the game.
That's not exactly firming things up. Seguin and Steen. Steen wins the faceoff. Blues much better in the circle in the first period, winning roughly 2 of every 3 draws. Seguin looking for a puck back as to Oshie and out to center ice. Here's Pietrangelo firing it around the boards. T.J. Oshie. Trevor Daley following him around. Laterra bumped in there with Daley. There's Porter again. Tarasenko tapping his stick. Laterra twisting away from Daley, looking for a shooting angle, and then it's tipped back of the net. Jokipaka has a step on Porter, gave it to Sevier. Butler had him in check, and the puck comes out to center ice. Tarasenko hammers it back across. Trevor Daley eluding Laterra, coming right in front of his net and shooting it out toward Roussel for a puck battle right at center ice. Blues take over, and into the zone they come. Tarasenko left it. Shattenkirk put it in front, and Jokipaka can't get it past Tarasenko, who shoots it. That's tipped wide. Shattenkirk, the defenseman, back of the net for Laterra. Daley riding him with the stick. On top, Tarasenko's shot blocked off Roussel, but not out of the zone.
How about that chance? Just come out of where you don't think he's going to be. Bang.
Jackman, as he uncranked it and uncorked it, and that went off a stick. The Blues are with the short change here. They were throwing bodies over the boards.
I thought Tarasenko was going to go over and take the puck right off the stick of Barrett Jackman. It was like he attacked him up top. Give it to me again. I want to shoot again. There, they got multiple guys up there. They had 3 guys across the blue line, and then he comes into the middle. Courageous shot blocked by Antoine Roussel.
Here's Patrick Berglund. Tarasenko, just 1 first period shot. It found the back of the net. He's got 4 goals against the Stars this season. But the Blues, in a very odd statistic, they played 4 periods and a little bit of overtime, have not led Dallas this season. Spezza shooting. Allen took a peek but has the puck, despite the fact that the Blues won the game in overtime in Dallas.
Educators are important.
Jason Spezza had a rough opening period winning faceoffs, and that's usually one of his key strengths. He's put up decent numbers. His even strength stuff is okay for the most part. He's done his best work on the power play as far as piling up points is concerned. It's interesting watching him and Stastny head-to-head here. They're the 2 big additions for these 2 clubs in the offseason. Spezza with a trade with the Ottawa Senators, and Stastny, who's now the highest paid St. Louis Blue, as a free agent signing here.
Spezza 3rd behind Seguin and Benn in Dallas scoring. He's got 25 points. Trying to dig this puck out along the wall, playing with Hemsky, with whom he played late in the season last year in Ottawa when Hemsky was moved there to the Senators before both of them came over this summer. Jordie Benn, Jason Demers. Up the wall. Shot from Yashkin went wide of the net. Reeves with a big body hit. Leads all Blues with 102 coming into play today. Reeves does. Cole sends it in deep. Shattenkirk after the puck, and Dallas making changes.
His hits have a little something behind him, too. He's a large human.
Lehtinen sending it deep, and icing here as Butler does it.
Well, Kari Lehtinen's given up 2 goals in the game. That's about what he gives up on average in his career to the St. Louis Blues. 1.99 goals against average heading into play in almost 20 games now. That's the 2nd best career goals against average of any opposing netminder against the Blues. Pretty impressive stuff. If he can hold them at 2 here tonight, they're going to get points out of this.
Yep. 7-3-1 in his last 11 decisions for Kari Lehtinen. Some really good stuff going on here for the Stars. They're trying to Like everybody else, find their stride and get back in the hunt. Horkoff in the corner. Tussled. Ott chips it out. And Goligoski inside his own line. Pass ahead. Horkoff bunted it over. Spit back out to center. Here comes Klingberg on the attack. Moen is tripped up. Fiddler shot it. Allen hangs on to it. If you're a fan of world-class hospitality and entertainment, well, go to a Dallas Stars game and see it from a luxury suite. Suite accommodates groups of up to 50. Delicious food and beverage packages and a personal suite attendant. 214-GO-STARS. That's how you get one. Backes and Benn. Jake Allen's right. Seguin finds the puck. Tried to center it. Pietrangelo fought back. Oshie out to center. It's out of Steen's reach. Daly backhanded it over the St. Louis line. Bouwmeester sends it around behind, and Pietrangelo to Backes. Sevier trying to steal it right there. Blues get out of the jam. Bouwmeester to Oshie, and here they come to Steen on the wing. Shot it. That's blocked by Jokipaka. Seguin to the boards for Benn. And Daly methodically ahead. Sevier takes the line. Got it through to Seguin. A shot, and Allen found it with the arm and sent it out of play.
Well, Tyler Seguin with a little extra amount of tenacity off this draw. Watch this. Goes back, jumps Pietrangelo, turns the puck over. The Stars don't do anything with it, though. Goes back to the point and dies right there, and the Blues are able to get it out. Stars bring it back, and they've done more of that, I think, as the game's moved along. Exactly what they did to generate that chance there, where they draw coverage. They know the Blues want to be aggressive, and then just a little 5-foot play opens somebody up.
Off that face-off scrum, Barrett-Jackman had it. Garbutt, Demers, Roussel, Eakin tried to get it back, and Jackman shot it out to center ice. Porter takes it in. Demers stepping up on him physically. Halts the play. That one rocketed off Porter as Jackman shot it, and a save there from Kari Lehtonen. Long pass intended for Garbutt. He's behind the St. Louis defense. And it's whistled there.
There'll be an argument out of that. I really like Jason Demers. I like the way he plays. His shifts are active. And it's Porter who's been banging the Stars defenseman. He got his elbow up in his face. And then once it went back over to bang, he gets an opportunity to get over and finish on him. Porter, though, spun off of that confrontation and got a nasty little deflection right in front. All the Stars, 3 guys were staring at the puck. Puck comes through from Jackman, and Kari Lehtonen had to be sharp to make sure he got something on that little deflection in tight from Porter.
Stastny and Eakin. Eakin wins the faceoff. Jordy, Benn, Klingberg back of the net. Garbutt tried to slip it up the wall past Butler, and it comes to Garbutt again. Using the boards, he got it out to center ice. Roussel pounding Butler right there. Blues pick up the puck. Berglund into the zone for Yashkin. He misses the net. Delayed penalty coming up against Dallas. Allen goes to the bench. Extra attacker on for the Blues. Stastny let it go. Tarasenko a shot that's blocked in front, and there's the whistle as the Stars get possession of the puck.
Well, Antoine Roussel will go vociferously to the penalty box. He made contact. Are they going to call it boarding because the head contacted the boards? He comes across. There's a hit. I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. How close was the puck? It's in his feet. That's puzzling. That is a gift power play to the St. Louis Blues. Roussel just trying to play hard on the puck and do what he does. I mean, Antoine Roussel has one gear and one way to play. He's full tilt in Farrell. Not interference because the puck was, he had the puck. How can it be interference?
And they called it interference. So, third power play of the game for St. Louis. Dallas has not been on the job yet. The Blues are 1 for 2. But for the first lead of the game, Benn wins the draw. Daly scoots it up the boards and all the way down the ice. Steen and Shattenkirk back for the puck. Tarasenko, Laterra, and Backes up front. Steen to Tarasenko, off his stick right to Trevor Daly. Tried to backhand it up the boards. Ben will finish it, splitting the point men down the ice.
Allows them to get a change in or a partial one if they want. Up front, good work by Ben to carry on down. Now he'll swing back and change on his way back up the ice and not give the Blues an easy out.
Steen pursuing the puck deep into the Dallas zone. Goligoski riding him into the boards. Garbutt bumps it along. Tarasenko rescues, plays it out to the line for Shattenkirk. Takes a look, tossing it back. Tarasenko looking for that tip in the slot. It went into the near corner. Blues spread it out again. Backes to Steen at the line. Laterra centered that backhand shot. Backes saved Lettinen.
Well, he just overpowered Eakin to get that chance in tight.
And now Tarasenko's going to go to the penalty box.
It sends visual daggers back over at Alex Goligoski. You had to think the refs were looking for some kind of an even-up call after that. Watch Shattenkirk working the point. The high priest of head fakes. And then back the other way to Tarasenko. No room, though, as the Stars had it red and closed off completely. Here's the foul. Pushes on the back end, and Goligoski went down. That was as grotesque as the minor on Roussel earlier. Neither of them were penalties.
This one called hooking against Tarasenko. 4-on-4 hockey for a minute. Call back of the net. Centered it toward Fiddler. And that's busted up in front. Pietrangelo and Bouwmeester on the back end. There's Jay Bouwmeester to center. Fiddler cut him off along the boards. Klingberg looking for a play. Off the middle to Cole at the line. Holding the puck. Waiting for it. And then got crossed up. Pietrangelo steering it ahead. Berglund and Oshie hit the Dallas line. They crisscross. Here's Oshie moving in. A shot off the mark.
I think Eric Cole might have just got to him in time to hamper that shot a bit.
Stars get Roussel back in 20 seconds. Meanwhile, here comes Berglund. One-on-one against Demers, who's not biting. Berglund dropping it off. Shattenkirk from the far side. Oshie still dropped anchor in front of the net. Now goes back of it. Klingberg trying to take it out of his skates. Walked him right into Demers. Stars turn it over, though. Demers fighting back. Oshie was loose in front, and Steen protecting it against Seguin. Stars on the power play for the first time in the game. It's under a minute, and they're trying to get it going. Seguin got it along. Here comes Roussel into the zone. He'll take it to the corner against Pietrangelo. Left it, and Backes with an easy clear.
It's always the tough play for a guy like Antoine Roussel. He gets out of the box. He's thinking, I'm going to get some power play time here. We're in the zone. Turn it over. Down it goes. He has to change.
On the wing to Seguin from Daly. Tried to pass to Spezza. Daly following up. Daly moving in. Daly shoots. He scores! And the beat goes on for Trevor Daly. The Stars lead at 3-2.
Well, think about this. The Dallas Stars have scored 4 power play goals against their Central Division mates. Trevor has now scored 3 of the 4. And this is a dazzling independent contractor tally. Walks in, through 2, around another, a fadeaway past a scrambling and disheveled Jake Allen. Got down, lost his angle a little bit, and Daly kept wafting in. A syrupy little rush by him to give the Stars the lead once again. We'll see how long they can hang on to this one.
Daly's 8th goal of the season. His career mark is 9. We're not halfway through the year. Lindholm put it back of the net. Eakin rattled in the corner. Porter trying to dig it out. So Daly's goal from Seguin and Kari Lettinen. Tarasenko finding Jackman. He's got a lane, and Lettinen makes the stop and holds on to it. And then a little something extra here is Laterra is spilled in front. But at the other end, Trevor Daly doing what Trevor Daly does, giving the Stars a 3-2 lead.
Our Ford leaderboard tonight, power play goal scored by defenseman Trevor Daly has moved into a tie for the NHL lead with his 5th. It was a dazzling little, it was almost like a guy out of the backfield. Seguin's not trying to set him up. He's trying to chunk it down to the corner. It goes off the bodies right to Daly. He does the rest. It's like the whole way in, he's just tugging at the buttons of the St. Louis Blues. Finally finds a little crack and shelves it short side on Allen to give the Stars the lead. No Dallas Star has been averaging more time on the ice. He had a great start. He had an awful segment of time in the second month of the season. He seems back on the trot now.
His 4th power play goal came October 28th against the Blues. That's his 5th. And 8th overall, so the Stars have their lead back again. 11.5 to play in the second period. Blues trying to tie it up. Oshie inside out, and a save there from Lehtinen. Pietrangelo's shot tipped out of play by Jamie Benn.
Boy, TJ Oshie just doesn't look like the same guy that he was even a year ago. You date back to last season, it's as if his goal-scoring touch has evaporated. He doesn't seem to have that same sprightly jump on the ice. They need guys like that. I mean, these are top-end boys for the St. Louis Blues to be at their best.
Shattenkirk pounding it. That hits the traffic in front, and Stastny's backhander also turned away. Hemsky on the wing to Cole. Stars hit the line with 3. Spezza following it up in the corner, tried to go back to Hemsky, now curls away and tried to work it to Cole. Intercepted. Shattenkirk will haul it ahead to center ice on the wing to Berglund. Got it over. Demers takes over and passes out to Hemsky. Wanted to feather it across, but Spezza carries it in. Cuts to his right along the boards. Took a pretty good hit, but got it deep to Cole. Wanted to go on top, and Cole missed Trevor Daley at the line. Berglund in for a peek on Daley. Long pass ahead, but Horcoff is behind the Blues, and he goes in there with Lindholm in the corner. Jackman scurrying over to find it. Lehtera has Tarasenko busting at center, and Jokipaka intercepts that pass. Tarasenko wanted it, and he was gone. Jackman snaps it ahead. Lehtera takes it in, shooting it over the top of the net. Porter had Tarasenko in front. Pass is blocked. Klingberg shoving Lehtera. Controls the puck along the boards in the Dallas zone. Works away from Klingberg. Klingberg fighting back, and a little help from Horcoff. The Stars are able to relieve the pressure, but they do it by means of icing.
It's be interesting whether Lindy Ruff lets these guys stay out there or uses his timeout. This 4th line's been out for a while. They're exhausted. He takes a look over at who Hitchcock is coming with. He's coming with his 4th line, so I think he's just going to hang on to that timeout and allow his veteran line to try to gain control and get out of the muck that they're in right now.
Fiddler found a piece of tape someplace to buy a couple of seconds. He'll step in with Ott.
Fiddler gets kicked out. It's not the automatic kick out. Oh, I thought he was going to boot him out. Just going to scold him?
Just an admonishment.
Look where Ott's at. That's not fair.
Who can cheat better?
Fiddler.
Ott found it. Shot it wide. Jokipaka knocked down by Lapierre.
That should have been a trip.
Yeah. Lapierre centering pass. Reeves poked at it. So is Ott. It's back of the net.
That got to the net. Good save by Lehtinen through bodies.
Bouwmeester toward Ott, and it's chipped away by Horcoff, who's trying to get position on Ott. Dives to keep him away. Stars looking for a change. Slow trickler into Ott. He's got a 2-on-1. Lapierre. Shot saved Lehtinen. Eakin trying to go the other way. Reeves holding things up. Pietrangelo taking over inside his own line. Out to Ott. He'll turn the stick over and get the St. Louis change with 9 to play in the second.
Boy, you wonder if Hitchcock had gone with a different line with that icing and the Stars turn it over and get trapped trying to get their change in. This might be a tie hockey game again.
Roussel unable to control the puck. Backes to Steen. One-on-one against Goligoski. Steen lost him back of the net. Klingberg picks up the chase. Out to the line, Butler moves it over. Shattenkirk snapped it back. Butler held it in at the line. Steen floating out to the point. Oshie's in front of the net. Shattenkirk. Man, can he move. There's Stastny putting it in deep. Oshie back of the net. Yashkin reaching for it. Letton puts the clamps on it. Sending us to break with the Stars in the lead. Trevor Daley has Dallas up 3-2 with 8:19 to play in the second in St. Louis.
Most of the goal scoring back in the opening frame. Stars with 3, Blues with 2. Just past the midway point of this contest. A Central Division collision. Catch up on the goal scoring. Stars opened it 2 minutes in. A mistake of the highest order by Jake Allen. The Blues netminder set up Travis Mullins. First goal is a Dallas Star. 27 seconds later, the Blues tie it. Pietrangelo, the defenseman, cruising in. It grabs a rebound and pounds it through Kari Lehtinen. Garvett on a gift from the Blues defense. Pounds one past Jake Allen. They go ahead again, but within, 84 seconds, the Blues tie it up on the power play. Tarasenko cashes in. Then on the power play here in the second period, a lot of Trevor Daley as he Ginsu'd his way through the Blues defense, twisted a little wrister past Allen, and that's why the Stars are up by a smidge.
Backes and Benn to Kari Lehtinen's left. St. Louis wins the draw. Pietrangelo to Bouwmeester, passing off. Oshie tried to pop into the slot. Steen following up and ricochets to Pietrangelo. Oshie a drive. Lehtinen found it with the blocker. Near side boards and in the corner. Demers upsetting Steen on his way to the puck. Jordy Ben to Seguin. Jamie found it, gives it to Seguin. Here he comes into the zone. Seguin shooting it, and Allen makes the save.
Well, whoever's hardest on the puck in this one is going to end up with it repeatedly, and this line had to work their way out of their own zone in order to get up the ice. Seguin, speaking of guys who, pretty accurate. Look at this game. There are 30 shots in the game. There have already been 5 goals scored. Seguin is close to 20% with his shooting. It's going to go down after that. I mean, you got a guy leading the league in goal scoring. He takes a lot of shots, and he scored in 18% of them. That's something. And that stat's an awful stat, too, the way they tabulate it.
Yeah. Hard to trust it. Penalty coming up against St. Louis.
A hooking minor. So the Stars get an opportunity to give themselves something they haven't had against the Blues this year. That's a little bit of breathing room.
26 minutes for hooking.
Stastny, a little flat-footed. Goes into the corner. There's no need for it. And the extra little effort out of the pile draws the call.
Stars are 1-for-1 on the power play tonight. Daley, Spezza, Ben, Eakin, Daley, and Tyler Seguin. Odd in there with Jason Spezza. Spezza overpowers him. Daley creeps to the middle. A shot. Riser over the top of the net. Seguin settles back at the net for Spezza. Gives it to Ben. Ott took a whack at him. He flung it back out to Daley. Ott chasing Daley. Ben puts it down. Into the corner for Eakin. Spezza trying to corral it. Eakin coming over, and Daley. There's 4 of them on this side of the ice. Now they spread a bit. Ben looking for Seguin. A shot. Allen takes it away with the glove. Wow.
Oh, his best of the game. This is such a pure, patient pass. Nice alliteration by me, too. But when Ben gets this, he waits for sticks to move a little bit so there's a seam to get it through. Nice work by Cody Eakin, who's the retrieval guy at the front of the net, to open things up. He occupies Pietrangelo, and a sassy glove grab by Allen.
Ben wins it. Seguin to Daley, and that one knocked Allen over. Looked like it hit him in the knee. Clearing attempt. Ben diving to keep it in the zone, and then he might have tripped up Shattenkirk. Stars have it at center. In they come again. Spezza walking away from Steen. Cuts to the middle. Seguin backing him up. To Trevor Daley. Daley shooting it. A shot pass really blocked, and Steen clears. Backes and Daley in a foot race for the puck. Backes took it away, and Daley blocks the centering pass. Stars trying to go Sevier on the wing. Pietrangelo arriving ahead of Horkoff. Works his way clear. Cole throws the body at him, but it's pumped out to center. And Oshie trying to beat Klingberg, who got just enough of him.
Pretty good defending considering the predicament and the pickle that he was in. Oshie doesn't even get a shot on goal.
More alliteration, too. Klingberg to Demers from center ice. He fires it around the boards. Cole, Jackman in there. Sevier took it away. Cole unable to reach it, and Ott hammers it off the boards and down the ice. They get Stastny back in 12 seconds. Klingberg on the wing to Fiddler. Garbutt goes to the front of the net. Fiddler to Garbutt. Missed the net. Fiddler staying with it in front. Roussel couldn't get the backhand off. Was challenged there by Shattenkirk. Stastny's on. Power play is over, and a big tie up in the corner. Garbutt and Roussel in there. Shattenkirk fending off Roussel. Fiddler trying to come away with it. Shattenkirk knocked to the ice back of the net. Garbutt's under there, and the puck's under Shattenkirk, but Stars continue to go. It's Jackman and Fiddler. They separate them. 5:19 separates us from the end of the second period. It's 3-2 Dallas. New year on Fox Sports 1 as we bring you a marathon of Big East basketball featuring all 10 teams back-to-back, including a showdown between Butler and 7th-ranked Villanova. The Big East New Year's Eve marathon begins at 10:30 a.m. Central, only on Fox Sports 1. It's streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tyler Seguin foiled a few minutes ago to extend his NHL goal-scoring lead. They pick up an assist tonight, second in overall scoring, 43 points. Steen would like a new stick.
Switch things up here. They got Hemsky back out with Ben and Seguin. Start this off. Like this too, they switch the D-man on the backside, so if he wins it straight back, they can step and shoot.
Seguin did that. It was blocked on its way to the net. Seguin twisted off his skates. Penalty coming up against the Blues. Tripping the call.
Boy, off a face-off and standing still. They, you know, I think Ken Hitchcock and the Blues live a little bit in fear of the upstart Dallas Stars at times because of their team speed. There was the trip. Oshie sits sequestered, booked for tripping.
Ben wins the face-off. Seguin shooting it, blocked in front. Backus backhanding it down the ice. Tyler Seguin leads all Dallas Stars with 6 power play goals. Daly got his 5th tonight. Here comes Trevor. Evading LaPierre, ahead to Seguin at the line, went back to Daly. Threw it in front, and Daly, I don't know how he missed the net. Seguin from the boards. Chopped it deep to Spezza. Bouwmeester giving chase, and now he'll back off. Seguin out of the corner. To Jamie Benn on top. Passing back Seguin to Daly. Shot it, and that hit Spezza.
Right in his shoulder.
Eakin to Spezza in front, couldn't pull the trigger. Daly stabbed it at the net. Allen has the puck.
Trevor Daly's everywhere.
Wow.
Came blasting out of his own zone to start things up. Stayed after it, stayed ahead of it. The little drive-by, he was just too far by in the angle. This would be a good look at it here. Stayed after it, then just chunked it over top of the shoulder and out the other side. Spezza almost crammed it in. And the hot shot that went off the shoulder, Spezza comes back to him again. He's active.
Horkoff wins the draw. Second unit out here for Dallas. Cole, Horkoff, Hemsky, Goligoski, and Klingberg on the back end. 6-man puck scrum. Shattenkirk comes away with it, floats it all the way down to Kari Lettman. Less than a minute remaining on the Dallas power play. 4 minutes left in the second period. The Stars have not trailed in the game, and they lead 3-2. Cole shoots it around the boards. And then finishes his check on Shattenkirk, but the Blues clear it. Goligoski resetting for Dallas. Has ahead to Eakin, leaving it for Goligoski, and the pass off the mark for Klingberg. Klingberg pirouetting away from LaPierre. Passing towards Seguin. That's an icing against the Stars.
It's a bit of a tough pass for Tyler Seguin to handle that time. A hot one. I was talking with Seguin this morning about the power play, and you know, they feel like they're doing some good things. They came into play tonight, but think about it. They scored 8 power play goals back in October. Granted, at about 21%. They had scored 9 power play goals since then. Got their 10th here tonight. He said, there's no question that you can see teams trying to take me away. He's trying to move to different spots than he usually goes to. Still finds a way.
He's double teamed at center there. And the Blues get through that. Oshie's on power play is over. Klingberg stretching it out to center ice. Spezza burrowing in there against Bouwmeester. Tried to take it away from Pietrangelo, who pivots away from him right into Tyler Seguin. Bouwmeester back of the net. Roussel eagerly after the puck. Each team now has had 3 power plays in the game. Go figure. Laterra hands it off, and it's tipped away from Tarasenko by Jokipaka. 23-year-old Finn Jokipaka to Trevor Daley. Bangs it down the boards. Butler turned away enough to get the icing call against Dallas.
Well, they've hung on to this lead for a little while here. In the second period, that man with the only goal, Trevor Daley, they've defended better. Was there a penalty out of that? Wow. That came out of nowhere. That's 3 minors in a row and lots of arguments from the Blues. An awkward change. One of the 2 referees is Tim Peel, who's a St. Louis resident. Nice for him to stay home for the holidays. Stars going to take their time out here. See as somebody's taking their time out. Let's have a look. The excitement of the too many men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them all enjoying some free skate. Somebody got their signals crossed on the Blues bench. And then that happens a lot when you get stacked up power plays for one team, and you've had some guys that have been out of the mix, and some combinations are mixed up because of individuals that don't play on either penalty kill or power play. And it was just an error on their bench that has cost them another man here. And the Stars take their time out to talk over the power play. An opportunity to go up by 2, which seems enormous against the Blues here late in the second period. Lots of power play time. If they're going to beat a Central Division team, this has to be part of the equation.
Spezza wins it away from Steen. It's bunted back to Trevor Daley. They attack him and force him to go out of the zone.
Hustled by Steen. Too many jukes out of Daley.
Daley restarting. Ben takes it in flight. Shattenkirk meets him in the corner. It's tapped away and Backes clears. St. Louis penalty killing, not great, and actually poor lately. They're bottom 3rd in the NHL in killing. Ben's pass hits Seguin or Spezza in the skate. In comes Oshie short-handed against Daley. A backhander to save Lettinen, who paws it to the corner. See what Seguin can do here. Pass to Ben at center ice. Shoots it in, and it at the back of the net came right to Pietrangelo, who gets a free clear. Minute remaining. And the too many men on the ice. Minor served by Porter. Here's Demers taking it in, right wing side. Deep to Sevier. Tied up with Pietrangelo. Cole unwinds it. Horcoff back to Demers, and it got away from him.
All of a sudden, they can't pass to one another.
Demers looks up ice. And now pass ahead to Cole at the St. Louis line. Half a minute left on the power play. Sevier's stick is lifted. Horcoff in the corner with Ott. Laid it around behind. Jackman and Sevier going in together along the boards. 4-man pile up. Cole dragging it away. Demers in front. He scores! Further proof that no power play is a bad power play till it's over. And the Stars have a 4-2 lead.
I doubt that's what Lindy Ruff was dialing up on the bench during the timeout, but it worked beautifully. On the other side of a pretty good save by Kari Lehtinen. Oshie didn't get much on that as he tried to twist away from Daly. This is about the second guy, Cole. Cole gets in here and wins this puck on the boards. He and Sevier along the boards in the corner. The weak side defenseman, Demers, comes down from his point position. Jackman was just looking for some help. Instead, what a pass. Thread the needle. And Jason Demers elevates it in tight. Stars have 4.
So much for tightening things up. Second power play goal of the game for the Stars. Second goal of the season for Jason Demers. Stars lead at 4-2. Tarasenko threw it in front. Klingberg unable to clear it cleanly. Tarasenko out to the line. Shattenkirk a drive. Save Lehtinen. Puck loose in front. Garvin taking it under control and taking the hit but getting the puck ahead to center ice. Cole and Sevier with the assists on the Demers goal. Lehtinen banks it ahead. Garbutt controlling. Shooting it into Allen, who sets it down, and Drew Roussel in and then swatted it away.
I don't know what that's about.
Garbutt, Tarasenko took his eye off the puck. Demers in front, and Fiddler couldn't quite tap that home at the horn.
Well, they owned the second period. I thought they outskated the Blues. They got afforded a bunch of power plays, which really helped. And now they have a nice, comfortable 2-goal lead heading to the third period in a place they always win, St. Louis.
Dallas Stars and the St. Louis Blues picking it up after the holiday break. Stars picking it up a little better. 4-2 Dallas through 2. Trevor Daley joining Razor at the break. Hockey on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Hurry into the year-end event going on now at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse high-speed internet. The UVerse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Stars with a little lead going into the third period. A 4-2 cushion over the St. Louis Blues. And Razor, one of the most important and impactful Dallas Stars player really since moving to Texas, Trevor Daley.
Well, an auspicious start to the evening for him as the stick broke and they give up an opportunity in the first period. But he's played his usual game when he's really skating well and fluid. Here's the power play goal. What a goal. What a setup by Sagan, by the way. To have the presence of mind to bank it off their defense and right to him. But he continued on. I mean, he just shows up in areas and stays with things, and his skating ability gives him the confidence that he can get up ice and still get back. Very active on the power play. His defending was okay as he kept Oshie at bay.
Offside here, we shall say, against the Blues.
Well, you look at the goal scoring for the Stars. This is how you win on the road. They get 2 power play goals, so they're winning the special teams contest. Both of those scored by defensemen. Usually when your D-men are adding to your offense, you're going to win. And they get goals from their third line and their fourth line. It's all set up for them if they can keep the St. Louis Blues off the board here in the third.
Here's Tyler Seguin. It came away from him. Sevier, who's back out here with Seguin and Ben, shot it into the corner. Seguin wrestling with Steen. Mr. shot it ahead, and here comes TJ Oshie into the Dallas zone. He only has 5 goals, but he slips Roussel here and then eases a backhander in that Kari Lehtinen has no trouble with.
Well, the issue for the Blues it hasn't so much been their scoring as the fact they can't kill a penalty to save their life right now. They've now given up 8 power play goals in their last 4 games, and I mean, it's crushing them. It's the reason they're leaky defensively right now. The Stars are happy to continue on. If they're going to keep taking penalties, they're going to cash in.
They're in the midst of their first 3-game losing streak of the season. All of those were on the road prior to the break out west at Los Angeles, San Jose, and Colorado. Tonight it's uphill for the third period against the Dallas Stars. Tarasenko backhanded it wide. He couldn't get the puck to settle off the face-off win. He's got a goal in the game. And then he knocks into Trevor Daley, and he's slow to get up back to the net.
Yeah. Favoring his right leg. Went down awkwardly there. Be some concern on their side. I don't know what happened to him there. It didn't look like he got hit that hard.
He makes his way off. And we'll reset in the Dallas zone. Cody Eakin wins the face-off against Stastny. It comes around the boards. Roussel chipped it up. Jousted with Butler outside the line. Got it through to Garbutt, who fires it around. Roussel couldn't quite get to that puck. Jordy Ben claiming it, shooting it off Eakin. Garbutt steaming in there with Butler in the corner. Eakin, the late man after the puck. Up the slot. Jordy Ben to Demers. Has a goal already, and that one tipped just wide on its way to the net. Berglund trying to get things started for the Blues. Berglund with just 4 goals this season, too. Stastny lost the puck. Lindbaum shoots it around.
You watch the Blues come up the ice, and a lot of times they're so methodical with how they pick their way out of their own zone. It allows the Stars to get back and set up defensively.
Icing against Dallas.
One of the things that Lindy Ruff has harped on repeatedly with the Stars, he wants them to play fast, because if you can play fast, it doesn't allow the other team to get back and get set up. Once teams get set up in their defensive posture in their own zone, they're a tough nut to crack. Teams are so well schooled in how they want to defend. Make them scramble.
Spezza and Laterra to Kari Letnin's right.
Very helmet to helmet in there.
Rooting.
Shades of Joel Otto back in the day with the Calgary Flames. He used to hog the dot with his head.
Spezza locked up. Hemsky to the line, but not out. Top Laterra's skate. Pietrangelo shooting. Tipped. Lettinen fighting to get back over, and Demers took Laterra toward the post. Slips through to Pietrangelo. Holds it. Shot it. Pad stop Lettinen. Cole goes out the far side. Hemsky couldn't thread it through to Spezza. Here's Cole. It's had another strong game, but the Stars are offside here.
Yeah, he's been really good. You know, when he plays Bargy, he's at his best, and he's done that tonight. You know, back in the first period when he went right after Porter, went after Shattenkirk, they had a rough tumble of one shift. A beautiful primary assist on the Demers power play goal. This is kind of his style of game here tonight. A lot of trading paint.
Been awarded 4 hits in the game. Leads.
Ott and Mullen are really jousting here.
They stay together. Puck slips into the St. Louis zone. Klingberg had a step on Ott. Lapierre knocks it back. And Jackman's pass goes off his own man, Lapierre. Allen was ready. Jackman up ahead to center ice. Ott twisting it down the boards. Lapierre in pursuit. Goligoski absorbs the hit. Klingberg in to pick up the puck. He'll go out the far side, and no icing. Jackman there to claim it. Horcoff chasing him around behind. Mullen was waiting for him. Loose puck off a weird hop, and Horcoff's shot was tipped, and it's out of play. NHL All-Star voting is now open, and you can vote All-Stars this year. Vote on your Dallas Stars app or visit NHL.com/VoteStars and send your favorite Dallas Stars, including Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, Jason Spezza, to this year's All-Star game. Vote up to 10 times a day and vote All-Stars.
Blues have pretty much just played 5 defensemen, or really their top 4 a lot. Lindbaum didn't play much in the second.
Backus shot it, save Lettinen, rebounds there. Steen was covered, and Jokipakka escapes with the puck. Center ice, he shoots it in, and Allen again allows that puck to come to him.
Well, this puck just bounced past Alex Steen on his way in. This would have been their 3rd rebound goal of the game. Take the line, quick shot on net, juicy rebound on a 45-degree angle. and it hops right past Steen. You know, it's a hot shot. You just got to deal with making the save on the original bid. That's not the spot you want to rebound to goal, though. The more you can keep it in front of you, it gives you a shot at a second save.
Sevier flung it in after Seguin set him up.
I don't know that Jake Allen's been that good tonight either. He's 6-1-1 on home ice, but his save percentage is really poor by modern goaltending standards. .896 is not very good, but you can't really argue with the numbers. He's getting a little help from that man, Marty Brodeur. First time out of the Devils organization. He must have looked at what went on in New Jersey today and went, yeah, that's pretty much how we usually do it.
Yeah.
Things aren't going well, Lou goes behind the bench.
Scott Stevens and Adam Oates joining him. Deacon appeared to be hooked. Blues carry it up. Porter trying to inspire a call, but an icing whistle against the Blues.
This is fine for Dallas here. You've eaten up 3 minutes of the third period. Nothing to see, nothing going on. 2-goal lead. Like Moen told us between periods, the more they can spend time up ice like this and in the St. Louis zone and protect this lead by territorial advantage, the better off it'll be.
Seguin and Laterra. Seguin wins the draw. Demers from the line, shot it, and it's tipped over the top of the net. Sevier gave it to Seguin, and it's brushed away by Shattenkirk. Jordy Ben fell, but an offside here against Dallas.
Boy, it was a heck of a play by Shattenkirk. The mobility of the modern defenseman to be able to stay right in the grill of a guy like that, not allow him the space, just knife it away. Comes out of the pile, hustles up top, long way away from his own net, but that's how you defend nowadays. Just defensemen on the forward, they get it out of the zone, get a change in.
Deacon wins the face-off. Demers hammers it in. Roussel protecting it. It goes to Garbett. Same spot from which he scored. It's blocked, and it ricochets back into the Dallas zone. Jordy Ben credited with an assist on the Travis Moen goal. He and Horkoff. Late adds. Garbett jockeying in. Allen out to play the puck, and he found center ice with it. Goligoski from Klingberg. Cross-corner dump, and this is fine for Dallas.
Yeah, they're grinding away. Something the Stars couldn't do very well early in the season, especially on home ice. They're doing it well here right now.
Berglund getting in and onside. Passing off. Stastny is shot. Lettinen found it with the gloves. Klingberg took it away from Jackman, and he'll lift it out. Race for the puck. Cole. Lindbaum poked it to the boards. Spezza across the ice to Klingberg. Back to Spezza. That puck tipped away. Spezza looking for Klingberg again. Klingberg shooting, blocked. Into the slot. Cole has it on his backhand. Yashkin trying to escape. He lost the puck at the St. Louis line. Cole will give it to Goligoski, and in it goes again. Blues have the puck. And it's Backes backhanding it across. Fiddler working against Steen. And Fiddler is almost in the St. Louis bench.
Has a conversation with Ott, Reeves and company. After that puck hopped up and in there. He's a pretty good bench jockey. Big Ryan Reeves. Their team cop, and the team cop is kind of being extricated from the game of hockey at this level. Not as many fights. Just doesn't feel like there's a need for that. More coaches and managers want speed and skill within the lineup. Some of the best guys to ever play the game.
Reeves played under 5 minutes through the first two periods. Laterra to center. Horkoff on the wing. Fiddler gets it over, but immediately it's taken away. Long shot. Lettinen makes the catch, and he'll cover it. Giving us a chance to tell you that tonight on Fox Sports Live, undefeated Kentucky faces its toughest test of the year as they face their rival Louisville. Full highlights from a stacked slate of college football bowl games, and we talked about a major sports franchise will not have a head coach this year. You won't believe this story when you hear it tonight on Fox Sports Live.
This game feels like I did late in the afternoon on Christmas Day right now. Like it just wants to lay down on the couch, maybe have a nap.
Is that what happened at the Ray House on Christmas Day?
Pretty much. A problem with the ice down to the left of Kari Lehtinen. Well, this has been a pretty good run on the road for the Stars. You know, they've won 3 in a row. They've held the goals against average to 2 in that span. Think about it. They were allowing 5 with regularity. They're one of only 10 teams who have won more road games than they've lost. 10 of the 30 have done that. Stars at 8 and 7. Yeah, there's what they've done lately. Good goaltending. They're above their average on goals scored. Really, they got this set up for them by Kari Lehtinen and his performance in Alberta or in Vancouver, and then the first leg of the Alberta trip in Calgary.
Start the night 8 points out of the top 8 in the conference. Backes banks it out to the line. Bouwmeester shot it, score! Tipped in front of the Blues. Cut it to a shot. It's 4-3.
Out of all that, they're giving nothing. They're trying to grind away. Everybody packed in front of the net in order to win the battle there. But what that does is it opens up the point. As they scrambled out, couldn't get in a shot lane. What a deflection. Man, oh man. How do you defend that? Backes off to the side. Head up all the way by Bouwmeester to find the stick. And he marries the shot with the stick blade, and they move to within 1. Lehtinen drops down, worried about a deflection in front. Maybe lost it for a second. Didn't move toward Backes, and he has him within a shot.
1 goal in the last 10 games for David Backes. That's his 9th of the season. Bouwmeester with the primary assist, and it's 4-3. See how both teams handle this. Roussel barreling in, and a penalty coming up.
Boy, how a game can change in a hurry. We've had, what, 15 whistles in the last minute, and it's worked in favor of the Blues. They win a faceoff in the attacking zone, score a goal, this time pursuing the puck. Roussel gets his stick into the skates, and he goes off, and they load up the Blues power play that is salivating to answer the 2 power play goals that the Stars have scored in the game.
Blues are 1 for 3. Stars had 4 power plays. This is the Blues' 4th power play. Old school tonight at Scott Trade. Eakin and Laterra to Kari Lehtinen's right. And Eakin is excused. So it'll be up to Ryan Garbett. Laterra wins it. Shot tipped wide by Goligoski from Steen.
Good work by Goligoski to charge out at that shot.
Tarasenko finds a crowd back in the net. Daly locking up his stick. Goligoski pinning Backes, but the Blues come away with it. Steen on top. Shot! And that's hammered by Shattenkirk high.
Wow, did he pace that?
Shattenkirk passing off, getting it back. Tarasenko, a shot. Lehtinen traps it at the side of the net. Now it spins loose, but right to Trevor Daly. And he'll clear. And Garbett is in some distress as he makes his way toward the Dallas bench. But an icing call here against the Blues as they tried to exploit his misfortune.
Well, he got in a little row with David Backes. It wasn't much in behind the net. Here's that shot block by Goligoski. Holds his ice, drops down, makes sure that Steen can't blast that from 15 feet. Boy, they were in a world of hurt there at one point, though. They had Garbett without his stick. He goes in, bowls over Backes. Out of all that, they get an icing. I don't know how, but they did.
Fiddler and Backes in the St. Louis zone. Blues, no icing here. Demers will arrive ahead of Oshie. And then he fanned on the clearing attempt. Berglund took it around behind. Jordy Ben straight up the middle and down. A minute remaining on the minor to Roussel. 13:05 to play in the third. 4-3 Dallas. Jamie Benn there. Steals it. Benn walking in. Benn into the slot. Fiddler a shot, and Allen the save.
Man, there is some large bore mental flatulence going on down at ice level with guys with the puck. Saw Demers have problems with it, just trying to get it down the ice, and then Bouwmeester gets puck jacked by maybe the best in the business. Well, I'm not going to say that. Datsyuk's still going to own that crown, but Jamie Benn is a lethal penalty killer. Good pursuit, twists it away, has the presence of mind to walk away and then set up Fiddler coming down the esophagus of the ice.
Blues, one of 4 NHL teams yet to yield a shorthanded goal this season. Almost happened there. 40 seconds remaining on the minor to Roussel. Shattenkirk takes the line. Goligoski probing with the stick, got the turnover, but Cole can't sneak it past Tarasenko. Whipped it out to Steen, a shot. That's blocked by a diving Trevor Daley. Blues spread it out again. Here's Steen from the point to Tarasenko. Cross the ice for Shattenkirk. Wanted the tip in front from Laterra, and it's out of Tarasenko's reach. Blues keep it in. Tarasenko lost it to Horkoff. He and Laterra were battling for the puck. Laterra has it down low. Oh, she centered it right to Daley. Steen recovers for the Blues. Penalty is over. Roussel is on. Shattenkirk attacked by Roussel. He'll chase the puck. Allen coming out of the net. Beat him to it. Knocked it ahead to Oshie. Tipped it ahead. Here come the Blues. Tarasenko's pass to Oshie. Poke checked away by Jordy Ben. And Hemsky taking it back behind his net as the Blues change. St. Louis 1 for 4 on the power play. The Stars 2 for 4. Spezza curling, gave it to Hemsky. Working it out to Demers. Passing to Jordy Ben for a shot that he shanks. Roussel gives it to Hemsky for a blast, and that's over the top of the net. Demers tying things up along the boards in the St. Louis zone. Roussel passes to Hemsky. Stick handling away from trouble and into the corner. In front, Roussel, and a pad stop, Allen.
Wow.
Stastny using the boards. Jordy Ben blocked it with his chest, kept it in. And then keeps going. Back of the net to Spezza. Into the corner, it's Jordy Ben with Sevier in front. Spezza's back of the net. Bouwmeester working him over with the stick. Spezza kept Bouwmeester away, and that one tipped by Ben wide. Blues have the puck. Here comes Berglund ahead to center. Sevier tugging at him as he hits the Dallas line. St. Louis changing. Under 11 minutes to play in the third. Goligoski in no hurry. Now he'll bring it up with a pass to Seguin. Seguin taking the line with speed. Seguin moving in for a shot. Butler tips it out of play. 10:28 left in the third. Stars 4, Blues 3 at Scott Trade Center in St. Louis.
4-3 Stars. About a half a period left in regulation here in St. Louis. Came in talking about the number 91s. Tarasenko for the Blues, and of course Tyler Seguin for the Stars. Sagan's had some looks in the game. It's been tough goal scoring for him lately. Those 2 goals in Edmonton, his only tallies in the last 5 games. He's done other things. He's got great hustle on the puck. As I said back in the first period, he's loaded up below it. You know teams are trying to guard against him repeatedly. He's had some chance. That was probably his best against the grain and the best save of the game for Jake Allen. He can make things happen in a hurry. I mean, both these guys are a thrill to watch. The assist on the Daley goal, probably Tyler Seguin's most accidental assist of the season. He'll take it as he stays in touch of the NHL scoring lead.
Stastny and Fiddler to Allen's left. That's 25-22 Blues. They've maintained a slight edge throughout the game. Lindblom in the corner. Stars have it. Fiddler shot it, save, rebound loose. Goligoski whipped it deep to Horkoff. Moen lurking in front of the net. There's Fiddler. These three churn and burn in the St. Louis zone. Moen grabbed on to Barrett Jackman. Fiddler worked to try and keep that puck in, but the Blues finally send it out. Yashkin going in there hard with Goligoski in the corner. Klingberg And to strip it from Yashkin. And he does have the puck back of the net. Leaning to protect it, using the glass and getting it up over Lindblom.
It's a skilled play. Diffuse the pressure. Some guys struggled using the window in today's NHL coming out of their own zone. Beautifully done there by Klingberg.
Back is shot it. Lettinen kicked it aside. Steen to Oshie in the corner. Eakin pinning him. Shattenkirk a shot. That's blocked by Roussel. He's taken a couple tonight, and that one stings. He's holding on to his hand. Jokipaka tied up Oshie. Steen tried to jump over Daly, and another pileup along the near boards. Man's game along the boards here tonight.
Boy, Roussel's in a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
And Garbutt gets him to the bench. Oshie slaps it forward. Backus tips it in. Jordy Ben with St. Louis changing. Pass up ahead. Icing against Dallas with 8:48 to play in the third.
Well, you look at how the Stars have kind of turned around their shot differential, which wasn't very good in the first couple of months. And one of the areas is shot blocking. I think more guys have been committed to it. Look at a stinger right on Bone. You have a goalie behind you. There's always the option to get out of the way. But they tell every guy in the league now that you have to get in a shot lane and block shots, and he does it as good as any Dallas Stars forward.
Tarasenko to Pietrangelo. Shot it. It got through, and then back of the net. Spezza in the corner. Feeding it forward. Tarasenko selling and getting the icing call.
So now it just comes down to face-offs in situations like this. Stop things up again. But it feels like the whole third period has been about face-offs in the attacking zones. It's not Jason Spezza's strong side over on this side because the linesman's on his up-hand side. Loses that one.
But cleanly and out of the zone. Stars looking to make a couple of changes here. Dallas used their timeout at the end of the second period. Goligoski whipped it around and then is buried back there. Hemsky chasing Bouwmeester.
You don't have to look to see who it was that hit. Nobody's hit harder or more consistently in the game than Porter.
Pietrangelo hauling it across the Dallas line. Cole was dragging on him. Lettinen out. Moves it off the glass into the corner. Porter digging with Cole. Cole wins the battle and shot it out of the zone. Under 8 to play in the third. Tarasenko with a pass ahead. Laterra takes the Dallas line. Butler a shot into the glove, and Lettinen hangs on to it. 7:49 left in the third period. Stars 4, Blues 3 in St. Louis. New Year's Eve is right around the corner. The biggest party in Dallas is at American Airlines Center. The party starts at 7 when the Stars take on the Arizona Coyotes. Stick around for free concert at DFW's largest fireworks show at Big D NYE. Get your tickets at 214-GO-STARS and DallasStars.com. Crunch time now here in St. Louis. Dallas started the frame up 4-2. It's now 4-3. And Ben trying to run after that puck. Jokipaka banked it out to center ice. Ben Sagan and Sevier up front for the Stars. Jokipaka and Daly on the back end. Bouwmeester shoots it in. It rattles out of the corner. Jokipaka toward Jamie Benn. Oshie taking it away. Backus swinging it back out to Pietrangelo. Shooting it just wide.
Boy, that didn't miss by much.
Bouwmeester knocks it around again. Ben arriving with Pietrangelo. And Sagan after it at center ice. He'll flick it across. Blues have the puck. Yashkin up ahead to Oshie. Slips it down the wing for Yashkin. Has Stastny in front. Jordy Ben blocked it. Yashkin on the backhand cram play. Lettinen made the stop. Stars clear. Garbutt tried to kick it to a teammate. Jordy Ben shooting it. Tipped by Eakin wide. Roussel back out here. Here's Garbutt firing. Again, that's blocked. And Shattenkirk lost out to Eakin. Allen took a swipe at it. Garbutt challenging. Jordy Ben holding it in for the moment. Yashkin escapes, but Eakin will catch him at center ice. Then Eakin gains the center red line and backhands it in for the change. Shattenkirk. Laterra passing over. Here comes Tarasenko, stopping on a dime. Losing one of the stars, hanging on to the puck, tried to cut to the forehand. Lindblom a shot up high and wide. Goligoski passing to Fiddler. He'll get it to center and shoot it in. Horkoff handling Lindblom back there. Jackman, the left of his own net with under 6 to play. Rink wide to Tarasenko. Shot it in, skips toward Lettinen. He'll nudge it off to Klingberg. Quickly moves it to Goligoski. Up ahead, and Cole tipped it past Tarasenko to center. Lindblom shoots it back in. Blues are changing. Klingberg has a little time. Rink wide to Cole at center. He'll heave it down the boards. Took a little pop, ties up his man at center. It was Oshie, and out comes Bouwmeester to the Dallas line. Bouwmeester shooting. Lettinen makes the stop. Hemsky whipped it around and then dodged the hit from Backes. Pietrangelo passing forward. Steen shooting it around. Oshie from the wing. Knocked to Backes. Centers it. Oshie is shot to save Lettinen. Backes to Pietrangelo, and Lettinen got over to make the stop. So that's how it's going to be.
The Bayonets are up now. 2 good stops by the Big Finn.
5:03 remaining in the third. Dallas hanging on to their 4-3 lead over the Blues in St. Louis.
Lettinen trying to hold the Blues at bay here in the third period. He's been the busier of the 2 netminders. A chance earlier, a few shifts back by Pietrangelo. Lettinen had it all sealed off down low. It missed by several inches. He's had other stuff to deal with. Little wraparound by Jaskin as he got away from Jordy Ben. And then a couple in succession. Good puck support between Oshie and Backes at interchange. Puck never settled down for TJ Oshie in front. Lettinen had him all the way. The tougher save was probably that one. Pietrangelo, the defenseman, already has a goal in the game. Comes down to the high slot, and it gets terminated into the tummy of Kari.
Shots are 10-4 St. Louis in the third period. Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin. Dallas's young leaders sorting it out prior to the drop of the puck. Benn and Jori Laterra. Tarasenko's right behind him. Porter to his left. Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo on defense. And both are gone. It's Porter and Seguin. Seguin wins it. Jordy Ben to Demers back of the net. Sevier hustles to get over there to get it out. And he'll hit Seguin, who artfully moves it in. Seguin, backhander into the glove.
This is good work all around by Tyler Seguin in his own zone. He showed backhand and then won it on his forehand. Second guy in on the draw. They get possession out of that and then blistering up the ice. There's the win. Comes down and just cruises through the Blues. Little chunk in his skates, pulls it away from Tarasenko, and then a backhand tester for Allen.
Backes in there now. He wins the faceoff. Sevier goes after Bouwmeester. Ben's over there with Steen. Tied up along the boards. St. Louis out with the puck. Pietrangelo. Pass to Backes at the Dallas line. Sevier hooking at him. Seguin unable to clear it. Bouwmeester with people stacked up in front. Shot it wide. Steen threw it in front for Oshie. Seguin to the line, not out. Bouwmeester keeping it in. Seguin over there, backed up by Jordy Ben. He'll curl it back to Demers. Most of the Blues back out for a change. Demers has a little ice to take. He'll take it and throw it into the St. Louis zone with 4:10 to play in the third. Pietrangelo jumps forward, fires it in. Lettinen unable to cut it off back of his net. Klingberg hacked it, but right into Stastny. Berglund behind the Dallas net. Goligoski staying with him. Berglund to the line for Shattenkirk. Roussel interrupted the shooting lane. Stastny leaving it on the interchange for Berglund. Out of the corner, Lettinen took a poke at it. The puck jumped up at the side of the net. Jaskin battling. Eakin taking it away. Running into trouble back of the net. Garbutt rams it past Butler, and Roussel in a foot race with Shattenkirk. Was able to stay with it. 3:25 to play. Yashkin put it over. Jokipaka cleared it. And the Blues reset. Throw it away at the line. Jokipaka moved it up to center, but now he's got to back off to defend. Tarasenko shoots it in. Lettinen back of the net. Worked it over. It's stolen. Centering pass. Shot just wide.
Like Barry Jackman came cruising in. They're getting their defensemen more activated in the offense.
Horcoff pressuring Jackman. Now he'll turn to the Dallas bench. Moen made a good play earlier. At center ice, Spezza fouls things up outside the line. Porter is knocked down. Jackman in deep again. Hits Jordie Benn, who finds Jason Demers. 2.5 left. Hemsky on the attack, and Cole couldn't quite stay on side.
Stars have been able to use 4 lines here and keep the energy up. Short shifts and 4 lines. The Blues have played primarily 3. Their third pair on defense is able to creep in here. There's Jackman right in the middle of the ice, number 5. Bad interchange by Kari and his defenseman, and boom. Missed by a fraction on the short side. Looking for the equalizer. Boy, the guys that have had chances for them have not been the guys you'd want if you're the St. Louis Blues on their primes.
Benn and Seguin back out here. Benn was protecting the puck along the boards, wanted to get a chance away. Steen outlegging Sevier, shot it off Oshie to center ice.
I think the Stars have forechecked better than the Blues for the most part in the game tonight. This is going to be an icing.
Against Dallas.
Stars 2 minutes and 12 seconds away from doing something that nobody has done in this building since the 23rd of October, when the Vancouver Canucks beat the St. Louis Blues 4-1 in regulation. They've lost since there. They lost a month ago to Ottawa, but it was in a shootout.
So a face-off then to Kari's left. Benn beats Laterra. Goligoski sent it up. Shattenkirk holds it in. Snuck it through to Berglund. Garbutt worked it out to center ice. Stars can finish their change here. Berglund to Shattenkirk into the Dallas zone. Shattenkirk swinging wide. In front, had Berglund cutting to the net. Allen was starting out, but now he goes back in, and here comes Garbutt. Threw it across. It's pumped ahead. Tarasenko into the Dallas zone. Tried to leave it. Defensive play by Roussel. That one slips through. Tarasenko heading to the net, and Moen came over to find him. Jokipaka buries him in the corner. Blues try and center. Here's Pietrangelo. Allen still in the St. Louis net with 1:25 to play. Laterra to Tarasenko in front. Lettinen made the stop. Daly threw it to the corner. Shattenkirk for Tarasenko, shooting. That's blocked by Roussel again. Jokipaka in the corner. There goes Allen to the St. Louis bench. Extra attacker is coming. Roussel swung it out to Eakin at center ice, and he backhanded it over. Blues coming. A minute remaining in the game. They trail by a goal. Demers shot it up, but right into Backes' skates. Demers with another chance to Cole. He'll try it, but it's blocked at center ice. Pietrangelo urged on by the 19,683 here. Shattenkirk shot it over. Steen put it back in the net. Lettinen left it. Demers gets there first. Shattenkirk kept it at the line. Passing it off for a shot from Steen and a save from Kari Lettinen with 31 3/10 remaining, and Demers bowing up in front as Backes comes lunging in.
The Stars have the man advantage in this brouhaha because the 2 defensemen for the Blues don't want to come past the top of the circles. That would negate the face-off deep in Dallas territory. They had some looks. Pretty good defending in front and all around. They finally get one from distance. This is the one that was good work by Cody Eakin to collapse down there and make sure that Berglund doesn't end up with it on the back door. So Hitchcock will use his timeout here with about half a minute to go in regulation. The difference in the game, for the most part, are the 2 power play goals the Stars were able to score in the second period. They had 3 straight power play opportunities, and 2 defensemen cashed in. Our AT&T Uverse take you back to the, or rewind, I'll take you back to the second period. Trevor Daley, prettiest goal of the night on a fadeaway wrister. That gave the Stars a 3-2 lead, and then Demers, after some gritty work by Sevier and Cole along the boards, Cole spies him, bing, right in front. Jake Allen playing deep. Demers able to pop one over top. He's got 2 goals as a Dallas Star. If this one holds up, it'll be another game winner. They'll both be game winners. They got some work to do, though.
Everything in the bag for Ken Hitchcock is on the ice. Stars come with Benn, Seguin, Eakin, Goligoski, and Daley. Tarasenko always dangerous. Laterra and Seguin. Kari Lettinen's right. 31 seconds left. Seguin wins it, but oh, she centers it. It's off Lettinen. Tarasenko. The end of his stick, threw it in front. It comes to Benn, who pitches it forward, gets away from Steen, comes to center ice. Backhanded it over, but gently. Blues take over. Shattenkirk with a pass ahead, and it's icing against the Blues with 13 seconds remaining in the game.
Pretty good awareness by Lettinen. He almost gestured to play that. If he makes a big move, they wave it off. Good win by Seguin. He takes this draw. I swear that they have him out there. He's been the best Dallas Star to do this. And wins it back. They're able to win a puck. Good hustle by Benn and company. Now they get an opportunity up ice.
Eakin and Backes in the circle to Allen's right. He's back in the St. Louis net with 13 seconds remaining. Eakin wins it. Goligoski lays it along the boards. Backes chasing Eakin around the ice. Tarasenko from outside the line. It skips over to Steen, but a whistle as Steen shoots it. And at center ice, Benn's going after Backes, who was all over Eakin, and now Eakin wrestles Shattenkirk.
This is right on with the captain. He doesn't really like David Backes all that much anyway, and as Backes went after Eakin after that draw, Benn came in. He's going to get turfed out of here. There's only a second left. That's terrific leadership. That's exactly what you do. Look at him. I don't know why Backes lost his mind after the faceoff, whether Eakin stuck him after he won it clean from him. Another look at it. He came up underneath. They were rutting Bulls anyway. Carried on. Backes frustrated, upset. In comes Jamie Benn. As good as it gets. Road hockey at its finest. Lindy Ruff has to be elated with the way this one has unfolded tonight. Leadership, they've grinded. Power play is cashed in. Got big saves and key junctures from Kari Lettinen. Lots of people involved in this. For the most part, they've kept the St. Louis Blues power play at bay. They gave up the 1 power play goal to Tarasenko. And they're on the cusp of winning their 4th straight on the road. They'll head home to a 3-game homestand heading into the new year. Rangers up next. The Arizona Coyotes and the Minnesota Wild, who've had their own struggles. They've gone so deep in their net-minding pool again. What they used last year, 7 goalies, I think they dressed, and used 5. An emergency starter tonight. So an opportunity, and they've been pretty good with their last 2 homestands of 3 games or more in securing some points at home. They're starting to knife and fork their way back into the conversation in the playoff standings. Came in 8 points back of LA, 10 points back of Winnipeg in the wild card, and 12 points back of the St. Louis Blues for 3rd in the division. That's going to get close to 10.
And bookkeeping-wise, the Stars will end the game on a power play here. And there's the whistle. What a win. It was last season where they had a galvanizing victory here in St. Louis Jamie Benn scored in overtime, you'll recall. And tonight, Razor, looking for something positive out of the break. They come in here and win in a place where hardly anybody does.
Well, they do all the time. They've won 3 in a row here now, and you know they got performances out of their big players tonight. I think Seguin was great in a lot of things that Tyler Seguin doesn't get a lot of accolades for. They firmed up on defense. I like the way these lines are. I hope they stay intact for a little while. I think it was a real good team win here again tonight. And they're rolling on the road.
Dallas Stars pick up their 4th straight road win. Overall, they've won 5 of their last 6, 6 of their last 8, and the Stars working their way back toward the top 8 in the Western Conference with a 4-3 win tonight over St. Louis. Tonight's game produced by Jason Walsh, directed by Mark Vittorio. The associate producers are John Sponsler, Doug Foster, and Cody Eastwood. For Darryl Ray and the rest of the gang here in St. Louis at Scott Trade Center, I'm Ralph Strangis. Hang in there. Post-game show is coming up now.